Hi, hello. So my name is Amber and this is going to be my haul and my wrap up all in one video. So these are no particular order. I'm just kind of grabbing them how they are right here. The first book that I picked up this month was volume 9 of Dream and Sun. I only own up to 5, so I'm still missing some in between 5 and 9, but found this for really cheap and decided I needed to pick it up. Next I have Kingdom of Ash. I really want to try and pick up all of the Throne of Glass series and these covers, and I've been kind of just doing it slowly as I find them or come across them. So I think I own Crown of Midnight and Empire of Storms in the UK covers so far, and then I randomly came across Kingdom of Ash and decided I wanted to pick that up too. What's next? I picked up The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I have loved her Daughter of the Pirate King duology so much. It became one of my absolute favorites. And I have read her other book. What was the title? I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but Warrior of the Wild or something like that, her other book that I've read. It's on the back. I did really enjoy that one. It wasn't my favorite from her, but I'm still going to try and read more from her, and I know this book has gotten some pretty good reviews and seems to be well loved. Next I have Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. I loved her Wicked Deep book a lot. It was a standalone witch book and I enjoyed every second of it. It was just really dark and creepy and weird, and so I'm looking forward to this. I know this is another witch story, so I always want more of those. I'm really intrigued to get into this. Next, finally, I was so happy to find this, and that is Serpent Dove. I hear nothing but incredible things about this book, and every little snippet and sneak peek of what it is about or any line from the story makes me know that this is going to be a book that I'm going to love. So I'm very, very excited to get to this. All I know is there's a witch and a witch hunter. Hopefully it is as good as everybody is saying it is. Next, I have A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. I keep wanting to say Wraths, but it's definitely not Wraths, it's Wraith. I know this is a fantasy story. I know our main character's sister gets kidnapped, and to get her back he has to kill the princess, and there's some kind of relationship that builds between those two, and I just feel like this is going to be a great story and really fun fantasy to get through. And I haven't honestly read many fantasy recently, so I am excited to be able to finally do that and hopefully get to this in the next couple of months. Next I have Queens of Geek by Jen Wild. I know there's a Comic-Con involved, just romance and adorableness and nerdiness, and I'm intrigued and I want to read this, and I've heard nothing but incredible things. This gives me kind of Geekerella vibes, which you don't know is one of my favorite books of all time, so I think it's going to be kind of similar to that. Next I have The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. As soon as I heard the plot to this one, I was already just I needed it. I needed it as soon as I possibly could. So for these last three that I have on my haul are ones that I did read this month, so I'm going to do kind of a blend into my wrap up now. Starting with Sound of Stars, which I loved and I gave 5 stars. I enjoyed this so much. It's just so incredibly sweet and beautiful and just wonderful about a world where aliens have landed, and of course humans reacted horribly to it, so the aliens decided that since humans were too violent, they needed to be kind of controlled, and any music or TV, books, any of that was taken away and has been deemed illegal. Our main character actually runs a hidden library where she lends out books to other people secretly, even though if she gets caught it could be an offense that takes her life. Our other main character is one of the Allori, the aliens, and he finds one of her books, and he is very different than all other aliens in that he just has this attachment and need to be around human music and books and all of that, and so build this relationship where she's getting him music and he's keeping her secret, and it's adorable and it's sweet and it's wonderful, and I'm really hoping, because of the way this ended, that there's gonna be a sequel. I just loved this so much. Next I have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I talked about this a lot in my vlog, so I don't want to get too much into it. I've loved the movie and I read this as part of the reading rush. It was an experience. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I enjoyed the main story, The Princess Bride, but if you've seen what I've talked about in my vlogs before, there's a lot extra into this book that I don't think many people that like the movie even really know about, and it was an insane experience. Next I have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This book. I loved this. It is now a new favorite of mine. It was so sweet and adorable, and I laughed and I smiled and I even cried. I loved this. It was amazing, and I will highly recommend this to anybody. It is a contemporary story of our main character who ends up losing her financial aid to college, figures out that the best way for her to try and win a scholarship is by winning prom queen, and it's just her journey of experiencing all of this, and she starts falling in love with one of the other contestants that's also running for prom queen, and it is just adorable and wonderful, and there's friendship and there's family, and it's just, go read this book. I gave this 5 stars, go read this book. And the rest of my wrap up, I next have The Burning Shadow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the second book in the Lux series spin-off. I'm not surprised, I loved this just as much as I love the first one, just as much as I love the Lux series. Again, these last 3 books are books that I read for the reading rush, so if you want to know even more of my thoughts on them, go check out my vlogs for those, but this is fantastic. I love aliens, I love sarcastic characters, and this has both of that in abundance. This was a fantastic read, and I do plan on hopefully picking up the 3rd one soon, even though there's a cover change, and that's the dumbest thing in the world, but we're gonna move on from that. Next I have Check Please Volume 1, an adorable graphic novel that I had been wanting to pick up for a long time because I know it's very well loved. I of course ended up loving this. The art style is really adorable and cute, and the story itself is really adorable and cute. It's just very fluffy and warm feeling when you're reading it, about our main character who is a vlogger and ends up getting a hockey scholarship to college, and it's just his life, his experience being part of this team and going to college and romance and baking, and it's fantastic and it's a wonderful story, and something about it just makes you feel warm and bubbly inside. So if you're looking for that in a graphic novel, I highly recommend this. And then last in my wrap up is The Ancient Magus Bride Volume 1. I ended up loving this. I've mentioned before that I've read other books by this author and just wasn't a huge fan of those other manga, but this first volume was enough to get me hooked. I'm obsessed and I'm ready for the next volume, and I can't wait to dive more into this. The art style is stunning, the characters are wonderful. There's so much to the story and so much to everything surrounding it that it's very easy to love this in the first volume. I read one more book this month. I don't have a physical copy of this one, but I read Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read The Poet X a few years back, and then I read With the Fire on High last month. Both of those books were good. They're very good books. I just didn't love them as much as I was hoping to. I don't know if I had overhyped them in my head maybe, but I just didn't absolutely love them. When it came to Clap When You Land though, I did really enjoy that story. It was wonderfully heartbreaking and fantastic. This was easily my favorite from her so far, and I'm super excited to see more of her books in the future because she just writes such incredibly wonderful characters and stories. And I gave Clap When You Land 4 stars. Alright, so that is my haul and my wrap up for the month of July. I used to always end these with you guys letting me know what you've read or picked up this month as well, so feel free to do that below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.